Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and today I am feeling charitable. I'm feeling very, very charitable because there's somebody out there who on Instagram goes by the name Matt_J_Mills, presumably his name, who's very, very sad and lonely and just wants attention. So today, we are going to give Matt that attention he so craves. Now, a little bit of context, a little bit of backstory, all right? Matt reached out to me about a year ago. Because he wanted pictures of me in a bikini. And he was willing to pay money for those pictures. And that seemed like a pretty sweet deal for me because I would post pictures of myself in a bikini anyway, as evidenced by the picture I posted on the Instagram. Instagram, I'm such an old person. Just the other day. Anyway, so Matt was willing to pay money for these pictures, and I said, sure, I like money, and I like myself in a bikini. Here, have these. So we did this. He was a little creepy about it. He was like, oh my god, I'm gonna come so hard to these. I'm like, bro, this is a business transaction for me. I don't need to know that stuff. And he's like, sorry, okay, whatever. Anyway, so we carried on. He wanted more pictures. I didn't really want to do the pictures that he wanted, so then we stopped talking, like normal people do when you're done with your business interaction. Anyway, sometime later, he hits me up about something like, yeah, you can't handle the truth, can you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you replied to my comment. And I'm like, you're gonna have to be a little more specific, sweetheart. A lot of people leave me comments, and I reply to a lot of them. Weirdly enough, I don't commit all of them to memory. But then he got weirdly butthurt about that. It was confusing. Anyway, my first indication that this person was sad and lonely and craving attention, and somehow thinks that he is more important to me than he actually is. So then, and this is the conversation I'd like to recount to you today, for two reasons. One, like I said, this guy is clearly lonely and he just wants attention. So let's give him the attention he deserves, because you know what? As he told me many, many times, he is very smart and his mastery of the English language is superlative. Therefore, we should show off his extreme intelligence for your enjoyment. And then y'all can also see the dumb fuckery that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Why did I engage with this conversation, you might ask? I was bored. And there's a thing you may or may not know about me. I enjoy being mean to people. It's fun for me. I'm not just gonna go around being mean to anybody, but if you give me a reason, you can bet your ass that I am going to be mean to you. It's fun for me. It's just something I enjoy doing as a pastime. So if you give me an excuse, I will go ham. So I will recount to you this conversation and just let you know. Just let me know what you think about all this. All right. So shockingly, as the title would indicate, here is your first line. Would you ever F for money? To which I responded, do I look like a hooker to you? Seems like a rational response. And he said, sorry, only was thinking how I'd like to fuck you. Okay. Thank you for sharing. That's not a normal thing to say to anybody. And so I respond, well, you can keep thinking that forever. It's never going to happen. And he said, I know, which seems like he doesn't know if he's trying to pay me to have sex with him. But anyway, and he says, so much for being respectful, huh? As if I have some sort of obligation to be respectful to the person who just asked me if I would fuck for money. So I said, I'm pretty sure you stopped being respectful when you asked me if I would F for money. I have no obligation to lie to you for the sake of your fantasies. Respectful has nothing to do with this. He says, lol, true dat. Go hang with your man-baby friends. Wow, real mature. Great zinger right there. And I said, oh, are you sad because I don't give a shit about you? And he says, ha, no. I'm sad because most of the people you know would have to lose weight to get on The Biggest Loser, which is a really weird statement to make considering he knows very few people that I know, and no one I can think of matches that description. But I respond anyway, and yet they don't have to pay for sex. Seems reasonable, considering that, well, none of my friends have to pay to get laid, and they all seem to be perfectly good at that, and he apparently seems to need to, but he says, do I? I asked if you ever fucked got money, so what? Not sure what that sentence means, but I'm assuming it means fucked for money, or whatever, in his superlative mastery of the English language. This is all he could come up with. So I respond, well, that wasn't a sentence because, you know. And I said, why don't you go work on sucking less as a human? Then maybe you can get laid without begging or offering to pay for it. Reasonable, right? He says, ha. Keep thinking that. Nice try with the hate, though. Though it's spelled T-H-O, of course. Superlative mastery of the English language, once again. And I don't suck as a human. You know nothing about me. So I say, what an inspiring comeback, because I was very inspired by it. I must be striking a nerve. And he said, no, you really aren't. No punctuation with the aren't. I'm drawing attention to shitty punctuation and spelling for a reason. You'll understand later. And I say, you also know nothing about me, and the fact that you think you do something because of my online persona just shows how sad and shallow you really are. Now, once again, this is a guy who paid me a bunch of money for pictures of me in a bikini, and asked if I would fuck him for money. So we can surmise that shallowness is a key part of his person. And he said, what an inspired, that's the word you meant to use, comeback. I must be striking a nerve. See what I did? I called it your hypocrisy by using the exact same comeback as you did. I think he's trying to be clever. And I said, I meant to use the word inspiring. Both are correct in that context, dumbass. In case you weren't sure, right? An inspired comeback would mean that I thought his comeback came from some inner stroke of genius. An inspiring comeback means I think his comeback is very inspiring to myself or others. So yes, inspiring is the word I intended to use. I felt that was a much more, that called out his dumb fuckery better in that particular instance. And he says, sad and shallow, says the person who sold pics for cash. Not sure how that makes me shallow. He's the one who bought pictures, so I just like having money for things that I would do normally. Ooh, and this is like with me not saying anything else. He says, so sad and shallow, says the person who sold pics for cash, because that's not shallow, dumb bitch. Ooh, definitely hitting a nerve, and no, you didn't. You meant to use inspired. Stop backpedaling, you lack of intelligence, imbecile. Which is, again, no punctuation there. That should at least have dashes there. You lack of intelligence. It doesn't even mean anything. And all of this. So clearly he's having conversations with himself, and it's adorable. This is adorable at this point. So I respond, joke's on you. I would have gladly posted those pictures on Instagram. You're just the moron who offered to pay for them. Stand by my word, that picture is now on Instagram. He says, of course you would. You're insecure about yourself, and you know it. Oh, sweetie, don't start projecting, is what I told him. He says, they weren't even worth jerking off to, so you're right. I was a fool. Which is funny because that's definitely not what he told me when I sent him the pictures. He told me things that I do not care to repeat here, and I told him to stop telling me those things because they were gross. And he says, no, it's a fact and you know it. Keep talking. You're doing a great job. I just don't even understand what his angle is. It's like not even, anyway. And I said, no, inspiring is the word I intended to use. And he says, if it is, it was wrong, dumb fuck. As I've just explained to you exactly why it was not wrong. It was the correct word that I intended to use. And I, unlike him, know the difference between the two, etc., etc. And I said, you're clearly just too brain damaged to realize the difference. You don't know how grammar works, do you? And he said, only one brain damage was your mother. Why else wouldn't she flush you down the toilet? Wow. That was hurtful. That was so hurtful. Saying my mama was brain damaged. I'm so insulted. I'm so wounded by this person that literally means nothing to me. Keep talking. I know more about the English language than a retard American like yourself. So I say, it's sad enough that you don't understand that both versions of the word are correct, albeit with different meanings, but the fact that you're so high and mighty over your insistence on my word choice just makes it sadder. Especially because, and he says, wow, another zinger, Jesus, you suck at this. I reply, excuse me, but the grammatically correct version would have been retarded American, right? Retard American is a perfectly fine colloquialism, but if you're going to get high and mighty about your grammar, you might want to use the actually grammatically correct form in this context. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a retard American. And he says, no, you're a retard American. And I say retard is a noun. You put it before another noun. You should have used it in its adjective form. What you use is a grammatically incorrect colloquialism, which is sort of sad since you just got through touting your intellectual superiority. And he says, so clearly probably doesn't understand half of the words I just used, so his comeback is, do you feel depressed about your elephant thighs every day? Or only when it's rainy and you feel low anyway? Or maybe when you do bad at your fencing gig? You mean my job? My refereeing job that I don't do bad at? Why would that... My elephant thighs, excuse me, my thunder thighs. I prefer to call them thunder thighs. And no, I don't feel bad about them ever, actually. I haven't felt bad about them since, I was an insecure 15-year-old. And guess what? I'm not anymore. An insecure 15-year-old. I fucking love my body and my thighs. And guess what? Seems like the rest of you do, too. So thank you very much for being as complimentary as you always are when I demonstrate to you that I'm more than just a floating torso. I appreciate that, Internet. Anyway, shall we continue? I made a laughing face, and I said, wow, if you honestly think I'm insecure about that, you are dumber than I thought. And he says, yeah, of course I am. Is that all you have? Seriously? Ooh, your grammar sucks, you're dumb. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going for a barb here. I'm just honestly surprised that you think I'm insecure about my thighs. It's just funny. That's honest. That's like, when people try to do that to me, like, you're ugly, your thighs are fat, you're gross. I'm like, you're gonna have to try a lot harder if you want to get through, because man, like, you weren't succeeding in the first place, and then instead of stepping up your game, you just regressed. Like, things I'm not insecure about, my thick-ass thighs and my big-ass booty. Just not. And may I remind you that you're the one who initiated the criticism over the use of the English language, so if you're disappointed in that line of argumentation, you only have yourself to blame. And he says, I'm flattered you're spending so much time talking to me. See, clearly wants attention, so I'm making his day by just giving him that time of day. I'm really glad I was able to do this for such a sad individual. I feel very proud of myself. Charitable work for the week. Good job, Jesse. A+. And he said, no, I don't. And I said, what can I say? I'm bored. And he says, my command of the English language is superlative. Yours is retarded. See? Superlative command of the English language. Great superlative command of the English language, in which the only descriptive word he has regarding me is retarded and retard. So, A+ superlative command. When I use words that you don't understand, your comeback is your thighs are fat. Wow, dude. Wow. So I said, I'm bored. He says, then make another boring rant video about Star Wars for the 1000th time. And I said, see? You're continuing on the same line of argumentation that you yourself tried to play off as trite moments ago. That's in reference, of course, to him continuing on, my English is better than yours, even though 5 seconds ago he's like, you're trying to say that your grammar's better than mine, that's your only form of argumentation. I'm like, yeah, well, that's your line of argumentation, where I'm just going with the flow that you're creating here, pal, and now you're getting mad that we're talking about the things you want to talk about. That makes sense, because you're self-hating. So when we talk about the things you want to talk about, you're like, God, Matt, why am I so stupid? Makes sense. I don't know why you're so stupid. I don't know your life. I can't help you. But let's continue. So he said, ooh, I'm a self-hating female. I hate how Star Wars has the nerve to feature women. I'm assuming that's his best me impression. Spot on, as you can tell. Clearly that's all I do, is run around hating on women all of the time. He's probably one of those guys who doesn't understand satire or sarcasm, isn't he? What do you think, guys? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. Does this guy understand sarcasm or satire? Probably not. Tell me what you think. And I said, well, you watched my videos and then paid for pictures of me, so clearly my marketing strategies are successful. And he said, hate watched. So I responded, I suppose you spent over $100 to hate jack off too. And he said, I never told you I did. I wasn't impressed. Yeah, you did, buddy. You actually did. We can go screenshot those messages if you like. And he said, you know how the idea is often better than the reality? Like, but you only had the idea. You never got the reality. And I said, your original messages say otherwise. And he says, what can I say? I pitied you. Because that's what I really want. When someone pities me, it's really going to make me feel better to listen to you describe how easily you got off on pictures of me in a bikini, and how impressed you were, and how they were even better than you were expecting. That's really what's going to make me feel good. Gross. And I said, why pity me? I don't spend any time watching videos I hate. I don't sit around stewing in my own anger. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go shower, get on with my day, and not give this conversation a second thought. And I didn't. But while I was going on doing those things, he decided to reply, why don't you just be productive, like take a shit or make a rant video? They're rather comparable. You mean both are very relieving and I feel much better after they're over? Yeah, I'd say you're right. You're right on that. Both are wonderful things that are necessary that I do almost every day and feel much better when they're done. So, A+ on that one. You did something right, Matt. I'm so proud of you. And then continued on, yes, you will. You would have invested this much time if it wasn't getting to you in some way. Oh, I know you really want to be important to me, Matt, but you're just not. And then here's my favorite line of this entire thing. You guys ready for this? This is the pièce de résistance. He says, enjoy your day, cottage cheese thighs. What does that even mean? What are cottage cheese thighs? I have never used that. Does it mean I eat too much cottage cheese and that's why my thighs are fat? I'm so confused about this one. I'm so confused. No body part is the consistency of cottage cheese unless you have a really, really bad yeast infection, and that's just gross. Bet Matt Mills knows all about that. Probably any woman he's ever gotten near, he just gives a yeast infection by looking at. But I'm just like, what? Like, you have to pick something less retarded, to use your own word, Matt, if you want to make any sort of dent on someone's psyche. It's, first of all, like, here's the thing, right? You had never had a chance in the first place, because in order for you to hurt me, you would have to, A, know things about me, like what makes me upset, and B, matter to me at all. You don't. I don't know who you are. I don't care about you, so you have no power to hurt me. But if you were going to, cottage cheese thighs is really not the way to go. It's just now the most hilarious thing I've ever heard, so thank you. But we have a little postscript on here, right? Because I went on my merry and didn't give it a second thought. And then, I don't know, a day later, a couple days later, I get this. Okay, you're hot, I admit. and I loved every second jacking my pathetic little cock to your glorious body. Wow, Matt. Wow. So is that what you're into? Are you one of those people that's just like into like the putting downness? Were you just getting off on me saying shitty things to you? Is that like who you are? Anyway, so that was disgusting and disturbing. And moving forward, oh, and then I got this one this morning. So what happened? Question mark. Like, I don't know. Do you have split personalities and your asshole personality just popped up and was a dick with poor grammar for a day? Like, I don't know what do you mean what happened? You're clearly a psychopath, and I took a hour, less than that, out of one morning to exchange barbs with you and then moved on with my life. That's what happened on my end. Whatever happened on your end, I don't know, but hey, you have those pictures, so enjoy them. Go jack your pathetic little cock off to them as much as you want. You will not be hearing from me anymore. But, Matt, since I felt so bad for you and I know how desperately you want attention from me and how fervently you hate watch all of my videos, I made this just for you. So enjoy hate jacking off to this video with your pathetic little cock all day long and for the rest of your life. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, press the like button. If you want to spare, if you think that I shouldn't have to deal with weirdo humans like this, press the like button. If you like this channel, make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell. Also, click all the videos popping up if you want to support this channel. You can get the t-shirt Jesse shot first with original artwork by that Star Wars girl. You can check out LA Cheesesteak Reviews, my new channel with a bunch of Philly expats in which we are going around trying to find a decent cheesesteak in Los Angeles and largely failing. And then click get involved with me if you want to know more about this channel and how to help it grow. Teespring for all my other links, all the other infos about me, ways to get in contact with me, PayPal, things like that, because YouTube loves demonetizing my videos, so make sure you check out all that stuff. Patreon, it's awesome. I love my Patreon community. You can follow me on Twitter at Jesse Milestone, and Instagram at Mindless Entertainment, and please don't send me messages like that on Instagram if you do. Anyway, I love most of my followers. I try to give you all the time of day when I can, and sometimes I'm rewarded with shit like this, so amen. Anyway, that's what I got. You guys have a wonderful day. God Empress out.